funny how these inspirations always come at night, late at night. The witching hour. There's something about nighttime that I've always loved. There's something about the dark, the stillness. We unmask. We let our hair down. It's like in the dark, we're allowed to see ourselves more clearly. In the darkness, in the dead of night, we've slowed down enough where we can actually hear ourselves, feel ourselves, and see those dark places within ourselves, those hushed places that often get pushed aside in the busyness of the daily grind. There's something about the quiet of night and the quiet of the dark that creates space and stillness enough so that we can actually feel what is brewing in the shadows. And if you go to a house party, it's something I used to notice as a younger person. You know, we used to go to a lot of house parties. I always love house parties. I still much prefer to go to a house party than a nightclub or anything like that. Even in my 20s and 30s, I always would enjoy being invited to a house party because there's something that happens as the party progresses and people kick off their shoes and the hair gets pulled out and the wine is consumed and the food is eaten. And then there comes this quieter part of the night. Some people have left. Some people feel the juice is gone out of this party, so they say their goodbyes. And then there's the last few people. And I would always be the last one standing. Always. I'd always be the last person to fall asleep or to leave or to just, call it a night. And I don't drink. And usually people who don't drink would need the fuel of alcohol to keep going. Now that wouldn't be the case now in my 40s, but definitely in my 20s, I would always be the last girl standing. But there's this beautiful thing that happens where it goes into those witching hours where it's past 2 o'clock, right? 3 o'clock. And it's like as that darkness falls and people get slower and quieter and all the craziness of the party has been squeezed out, right? It's like you get to the good stuff. It's where people really start to let their guard down. Like I said, kick off their high heels and wipe their face and just take off the mask, and people will get looser and more open about what they share, and any filtering, it's like the tiredness of the night. The filtering is abandoned. Maybe the wine has something to do with that, okay, and the beer and so on, of course. But you'd be sitting there, there'd be a few people sitting together, and somebody will say something poignant because it's true. It's something honest and present in that moment, and it will spark these really rich, colourful, raw conversations. That was always my favourite part of the night at a house party, or even when we go dancing to a nightclub and we'd all scramble back to somebody, we'd pick someone's house or flat to go back to. It was often be my friend's apartment, and we'd all be sitting in there and lying down and hot and sweaty summer night, been dancing, drinking, and there'd be this lovely after party, aftermath, honesty and expression. And that's where the real connection happened. That's where people actually let you in and you let them in. And everybody becomes a lot more human. You know, it's like the costumes are removed and you get glimpses of maybe melancholy in your friend, or depression, or people might share their fears or anxieties or their heartbreak or whatever is going on beneath the performance of the nightclub or the dancing. I always loved the nighttime, and I always loved being with someone else in the dark. I still do. There's something about, lovers most people make love in the dark, okay? There's something about the darkness that allows us to reveal more. That's the paradox of it. It seems to light up the shadows within. And also, as somebody who reads energy, you can read energy in a more powerful, potent way in the dark. So even as if a client comes to me in Castleknock Clinic, if you want to book a session with me, you can go to my website, which I will include in the description below. I like to dim the lights because you can really see the energy, you can see the aura, you can actually feel deeper sensual connection with another soul when you're not being blasted and overstimulated, when your physical senses are not being abused. You can actually tune into the energy of the soul of the person in a much deeper way. So that's something I recommend. And also with yourself, meditating in the dark, going for a walk in the dark, obviously be safe and all that. Have you ever been in a woods in the dark? Again, be safe. Go with a group of people, or, do it in a safe, organized way. There's being on the beach in the park. When I was living by the beach there up until recently, I would regularly go down, and you'd be walking on the sand and it'd be pitch dark and you wouldn't even know where you're walking. But the moonlight bouncing